Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, entitled Creation, Chapter 10, Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka, text number 28. Nunam vratasnana huta dineshvaraha samarchito hi asya grihita panibhi pibanti ya sakhiya dharamritam muhur pibanti ya sakhiya dharamritam muhur Brajastriya sammuhur yad ashayaha Nunam vratasnana huta dineshvaraha Samarchito hi asya grihita panibhi Pibanti ya sakhiya dharamritam muhur Brajastriya sammuhur yad ashayaha Nunam vratasnana huta dineshvaraha Samarchito hi asya grihita panibhi Pibanti ya sakhiya dharamritam muhur Brajastriya sammuhur yad ashayaha Nunam vratasnana huta dineshvaraha Samarchito hi asya grihita panibhi Pibanti ya sakhiya dharamritam muhur Rajastriya sammuhur yadashayaha Nunam vratasnana huta dineshvaraha Samarchito hi asya grihita panibhi Rajastriya sammuhito Nunam vratasnana huta dineshvaraha Samarchito hi asya grihita panibhi Pibanti ya sakhiya dharamritam muhur Rajastriya sammuhur yadashayaha Synonyms: Nunam, certainly in the previous birth. Vrata, vow. Snana, bath. Huta, sacrifice in the fire. Adina, by all this. Ishvaraha, the personality of Godhead. Samarchitaha, perfectly worshipped. He, certainly. Asya, his. Grihita pani bhihi, by the married wives. Pibanti, religious. Yaha, those who. Sakhi, O friend. Adhara amritam, the nectar from his lips. Muhuhu, again and again. Brajastriyaha, the damsels of Brajabhumi. Sammuhuhu, often fainted. Yat ashayaha, expecting to be favored in that way. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Oh friends, just think of his wives whose hands he has accepted. How they must have undergone vows, baths, fire sacrifices, and perfect worship of the Lord of the universe to constantly relish now the nectar from his lips by kissing. The damsels of Brajabhumi would often faint just by expecting such favors. Translation with repetition. Oh friends, just think of his wives whose hands he has accepted. How they must have undergone vows, baths, fire sacrifices, and perfect worship of the Lord of the universe to constantly relish now the nectar from his lips by kissing. The damsels of Brajabhumi would often faint just by expecting such favors. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Religious rites prescribed in the scriptures are meant to purify the mundane qualities of the conditioned souls, to enable them to be gradually promoted to the stage of rendering transcendental service unto the Supreme Lord. Attainment of this stage of pure spiritual life is the highest perfection, and this stage is called Swarupa, or the factual identity of the living being. Liberation means renovation of this stage of Swarupa. In that perfect stage of Swarupa, the living being is established in 5 phases of loving service, one of which is the stage of Madhurya Rasa, or the humor of conjugal love. The Lord is always perfect in himself, and thus he has no hankering for himself. He, however, becomes a master, a friend, a son, or a husband to fulfill the intense love of the devotee concerned. Herein, 2 classes of devotees of the Lord are mentioned in the stage of conjugal love. One is Swakiya and the other is Parakiya. Both of them are in conjugal love with the personality of Godhead Krishna. The queens at Dwaraka were Swakiya, or duly married wives, but the damsels of Braja were young friends of the Lord while he was unmarried. The Lord stayed at Vrindavan till the age of 16, and his friendly relations with the neighboring girls were in terms of Parakiya. These girls, as well as the queens, underwent severe penances by taking vows, bathing, and offering sacrifices in the fire as prescribed in the scriptures. The rites as they are not an end in themselves, nor are fruitive action, culture of knowledge, or perfection in mystic powers ends in themselves. They are all means to attain the highest stage of Swarupa, to render constitutional transcendental service to the Lord. Each and every living being has his individual position in one of the above mentioned 5 different kinds of reciprocating means with the Lord. And in one's pure spiritual form of Swarupa, the relation between manifest without mundane affinity. The kissing of the Lord either by his wives or his young girlfriends who aspire to have the Lord as their fiancé is not of any mundane perverted quality. Had such things been mundane, a liberated soul like Sukadev would not have taken the trouble to relish them, nor would Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have been inclined to participate in those subjects after renouncing worldly life. The stage is earned after many lives of penance. Thus ends the wonderful transcendental Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pascha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Often in the Vedic literature, which is misunderstood by most people, in their misunderstanding, people think that the Vedic literatures look down upon women. And probably the Vedic literatures hint or indicate that they are supposed to remain as slaves in house, which is actually a misunderstanding. Look at this beautiful verse of Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by the women of Hastinapura from the balcony of their house, talking about women of Dwarka and talking about the women of Braja, and that has found a mention in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, women talk is finding a mention in Srimad Bhagavatam not because it is important who has spoken, whether it is a woman or it is a man. It doesn't really matter. What matters is what is the subject matter being spoken. What matters is what is the consciousness behind the person who is speaking this. So this verse is so wonderful. Nunam vratasnana huta dineshwaraha samarchito hi asya grihita panibhi Pibanti yah sakhi adharamritam muhur brajastriya sammuhur yad ashayaha. What this verse is trying to say is Nunam in their previous lives. Nunam Vrata. Vrata means you do some kind of austerities, like we are doing this Kartika Vrata. Krishna, why are you doing Kartik Vrata? Just to smile. That is the only thing that you showed. Why are you doing Kartik? To keep Lord in the mind. Okay. To receive the favor of the Lord, so that I get some good grades and whatever. So why should we do Vrata? Vrata, people think, okay, if I do it in Kartik, anyway they are saying in 1 month so many these things are there, so many discounts are there, might as well try this month. After that, who knows whether I'll be able to continue or sustain. Let me finish it off in this month. Actually, austerity is the currency which is needed if we want to enjoy the material life. But here, this austerity which the Pura Stris are referring to, Hastinapura Stris, Vrata Snana Huta. Vrata is to take some austerity, vows. Snana is to take baths in some sacred rivers, which people do. Vrata Snana Huta. Huta is to do some sacrifice, fire sacrifice. Vrata Snana Huta Dineshwaraha. Adina Ishwaraha. Bhuta Adina. Means all this, etc. all these kind of activities which people do, the perfection of that is to come to a samarchito. Okay, again another one, Ishvara samarchito, to worship the Lord, is to come to a stage of engaging in transcendental loving service to the Lord. It's a means to an end. It is not an end in themselves. What did you do? I just worshipped some Durga. I wanted this thing and I done with that. It is a means to an end of engaging in devotional service. That's what Prabhupada mentions in the purport. We will see that. Nunam Vratasnana Huta Dineshwara Samarchito hi Asya Grihita Panibhi. When the marriage happens in our tradition, the bridegroom carries the hand of bride. And we take some sacred vows in front of fire and so on and so forth. So Grihita Panibhi. Grihita is to hold, Pani is hand. Samarchito hi Asya Grihita Panibhi. So the Puravasis are telling, look at the fortune of this Dwaraka, the queens of Dwaraka. How fortunate they are. What all austerities they would have done. What all places they would have taken bath. Where all they would have done this sacrifice. Huta. Nunam Vratasnana Huta Dineshwaraha Samarchita. How much of worship they would have done. That they've got this great fortune where their hands are being taken, are being accepted by the Supreme Lord. Asya Grihita Panibhi. Pani Grahana. Pani Grahana is one of the samskaras in the Vivaha. Pani Grahana. Pani is hand. Accepting the hands. Pibanti yah sakhi adharamritam muhur. And not just that, Pibanti yah sakhi adharamritam muhur. They're so fortunate that they're getting a chance to kiss the Lord. Adharamritam muhur. Brajastriyaha sammuhur yadasayaha. They were very close. The Lord was personally present with these queens of Dwaraka all the time. He expanded himself to that 16,108 forms. And he was personally present. Whereas Brajastriya, Sammuhur. Just by thinking about the Supreme Lord, just by remembering the Lord, the time that he has spent with them, Sammuhur, they just faint. Brajastriyaha Sammuhur Yadashayaha. Ashaya, in that expectation, the Lord, if he comes, or if he can be there with us, then just by the thought of that, they are fainting. In the purport, there are many wonderful points which Prabhupada is mentioning. The first thing that he is telling is, religious rites prescribed in the scriptures are meant to purify the mundane qualities of the conditioned souls, to enable them to be gradually promoted to the stage of rendering transcendental service unto the Supreme Lord. Religious rites are prescribed in the scriptures. For what? So that we can get rid of the mundane qualities. So, mundane qualities of the conditioned souls, to enable them to gradually promote to the stage of rendering transcendental service. Actually, the greatest fortune of a conditioned living entity is to come to the stage of getting a chance to engage in transcendental loving service. Greatest fortune. But look at our situation. When that thing is given to us, we don't value it. We don't really understand it because the consciousness behind that is not there. In one of the purports of Srimad Bhagavatam, which mentions about the 9 processes of devotional service, starting with Shravanam, Kirtanam. What is the third one? Mukund? What is the third one? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Then? Padasivanam. सीधा स्मरणम से Padasivanam में चला जाए. Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmaniveda. So these 9 processes of devotional service are given by the Lord for us to associate with Him. The pujaris come, all of us we do pujari service. What is the consciousness we are having? If the consciousness is not proper, whether you do Shravana, whether you do Kirtan, whether you do this thing, the opportunity to associate with the Lord will not feel. हफ्ते में 1 घंटा करने का मेरा सर्विस दिया है करके चले जाने का, उधर आने का वो क्या है, what is there, what is not. You just want to get done and go. So that is why religious rites are prescribed in the scriptures. They are meant to purify the mundane qualities of the conditioned souls to enable them to be gradually promoted to the stage of rendering transcendental service unto the Supreme Lord. Actually, Bhagavatam is wonderful, nectar. Otherwise, we're talking about the Lord kissing the wives and some Brajastriyas who are fainting thinking of him, and some other women are talking about it, and that is finding a mention in Bhagavatam. And we are reading that. What is so special? It's extremely special. I'll tell you how special it is. Okay. In Bhagavatam, in the beginning, there is a verse which comes in the first canto, second chapter. It says, Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramakhaha, Vasudeva Parayoga, Vasudeva Parahkriya, Vasudeva Param Jnanam, Vasudeva Param Tapaha, Vasudeva Paro Dharmo, Vasudeva Paragatihi. We chant this during our this thing? No? Something similar to this. Vasudeva Paramakha, Vasudeva Parayoga. We chant somewhere, I don't remember where. Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramakha, Vasudeva Parayoga, Vasudeva Parahkriya. Very interesting to see why I am bringing up this verse. There is word Vasudeva which is used in every single line, and it is followed by the word Para. Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramakha, Vasudeva Parayoga, Vasudeva Parahkriya, Vasudeva Param Jnanam, Vasudeva Param Tapaha, Vasudeva Paro Dharma, Vasudeva Paragatihi. Now, without looking at the translation, if you see these synonyms, Vasudeva is translated by Prabhupada as the personality of Godhead, and Para is the ultimate goal. Vasudeva, again, the personality of Godhead, Para for worshipping, Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, Para, the means of attaining. The word Para, the meaning is changing everywhere. Vasudeva is the personality of Godhead, Param is the best. Vasudeva, personality of Godhead, Para is the superior quality. How can just one word in every line have a different meaning? If you read the translation is saying that in the revealed scriptures, the ultimate object of knowledge is Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The purpose of performing sacrifices is to please Him. Yoga is for realizing Him. All fruitive activities are ultimately rewarded by Him only. He is the supreme knowledge, and all severe austerities are performed to know Him. Religion, dharma, is rendering loving service unto Him. He is the supreme goal of life. Do you see anything wrong in the translation which Prabhupada has given? Why? Obviously you'll say no, because it's Prabhupada that's given, right? But why no? What is the obvious thing that is coming? Vasudeva Para Veda. Vasudeva is the topmost this thing. Vasudeva Paramakha. Vasudeva is the topmost side. Vasudeva Para Yoga. But the translation of Prabhupada is actually saying in the revealed scripture, the ultimate object of knowledge is Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The purpose of performing sacrifices is to please Him. Yoga is for realizing Him. All fruitive activities are ultimately rewarded by Him only. He is the supreme knowledge, and all severe austerities are performed to know Him. It is not exactly in line with what the verse is saying. What is the mystery behind this? So the mystery is when the word para is used as a suffix, it has a different meaning. Where in Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned? Para is the suffix. What is that? Para? What does you say loudly? Para Brahma, Para, no, not that. As suffix. Suffix means which is coming after the word, not as a word itself. Paro dharma, kaun sa paro dharma? Paro dharma is in Bhagavatam. Savai pumsam paro dharma. That is also still not suffix. Erudite scholars. Research scholars. Huh? Which chapter? 10th chapter. That's what he was trying to say. 12th. I'm not interested in the chapter. I want to know the words. Even if you don't know the full verse, if you know the meaning, where it is used as a suffix. Clue, 2nd chapter. Madhav is doing some research. You have found? Not easy, you'll not get it. Now you got it. Okay, search mark. You did? You said? Matpara. Where is it mentioned? Actually, the clue of understanding this verse is, I got it from the purport of Srila Prabhupada in that Matpara verse. That is, I think, 2.61. Yukta asita matpara vasei yasya indriyani tasya prajna pratishtita. No, 2.61, is that correct? What is the first line of that? Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matpara. And if you read the purport, Prabhupada brings out that point, matpara. Matpara means who's absorbed in me. Like, if you ask this businesses, the different kind of businesses, they will say, we are very customer centric. We are customer para. They say that, actually they are profit para. They say that, customer para. Politicians, they say we are jana para. We want to serve. We are absorbed in jana. So we are matpara. Vashehi yasya indriyani. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matpara. Vasehi yasya indriyani tasya prakyam pratishtita. So matpara, when it is used as the suffix, there is another place also it is. There are many places it might be used, but there is one other place in the 2nd chapter itself where it is used is Kriya Vishesha Bahulam. उससे पहले स्वर्ग परा आता है. What is that verse? 2.40. कामात्मनः स्वर्गपरा जन्म कर्म फलप्रदाम क्रिया विशेष बहुलाम भोगेश्वर्य गतिम प्रति. Kamatmana swargapara. They are deeply absorbed in enjoying the swarga, the opulence of swarga. There is one kind of people, Kamatmana swargapara. Kriya vishesh, janma karma phalapradam, kriya vishesha bahulam, bhogeshwarya gatim prati. So here these devotees are Vasudeva para, Vasudeva param tapaha. So the highest perfection of learning this thing is to become Vasudeva para. And the devotees of Dwaraka, the devotees of Braja, they are always Vasudeva para. Completely Vasudeva para. Okay. Let me ask you this question. How many of you think that, or let me make a statement and then ask you this question. There's half of you are asleep. That if I say that without spirituality, nobody in this world can be perfectly blissful, peaceful and happy. Agree? Disagree? Disagree? Agree? Any no disagreement? Mukund? Huh? Statement is, without spirituality, nobody in this world can be happy, peaceful and blissful. Huh? The definition you go out, I'll tell you afterwards, not now. If it's spirituality, you don't know what are you doing here. What do you think? Okay, you may have disagreement then, that because you don't know the definition of spirituality. I'll come to that one by the way. How many of you feel disagreement? Okay. Research scholar has raised hands, but बहुत late में आया डर के. Okay, let's see this, because it's not about. It's a practice. It's a process that we are following. We should be convinced about it completely. Vasudeva Para is a state. The last line of this purport Prabhupada is writing, this stage is earned after many lives of penance. What a position to be the wives of Krishna. What position it is. Just amazing. Now we kya Dwargavasi, they kissing all, what is going on? And why these women are talking about it, we are thinking in our mind. If you see this few verses before also, there is a word that they are using, aho alam slaghyatamam. Aho alam alas. Aho alam slaghyatamam. Slaghya is to glorify. Aho alam slaghyatamam yadokulam. That Lord has taken birth in that Yadukula. What is the most glorified dynasty? Slaghyatamam. Aho alam slaghyatamam yadokulam. Aho alam punyatamam. That place where Krishna is taking birth, Mathura, Madhupuri, what is the word? Madhubarnam, Mathura or Vrindavan, wherever that Krishna has taken birth, is punyatamam, slaghyatamam. They are using this. These women of Hastinapur are expressing some of the esoteric truths which are not even understood by normal people. Even, forget about normal, ordinary, even devotees also don't understand. In their mind there is no clarity. That's why I'm asking, how spirituality is must if you want to become happy or peaceful or blissful in life. See, when somebody asks you, if you have to explain the need of spirituality, people generally feel that, well, I need to have some bodily comforts. थोड़ा सोना है, खाना है, पीना है, वो तो चाहिए life में ना. What is the need for the soul? What is it that the soul needs? Huh? Happiness, peace. It is searching for Satchidananda. What is it that the soul needs? Harinam. Okay. बोलिए जब बोलेंगे सोचेंगे तभी तो कुछ आएगा ना. Then otherwise it'll. What is it? Spirituality. What is the soul? What is it that you need? Happiness that never ends. Okay. You're there. You're not there. आ रहे हो circumference में घूम के चले जा रहे हो. Not coming to the point. What is it that the soul needs? Happiness. How do we say it in our philosophy? Devotional service. हम लोग इतना बोलते हैं उसको. चैतन्य महाप्रभु का philosophy में भी वो word आता है. I want that exact word. Sukirti Prabhu will say, clue, Prabhu, clue. It starts with the word pa. And it's not an English word. In Sanskrit or in Hindi, we use that word. Param? What? Paramanandam. That was the team name, no? That our Sarveshwari Mataji's team. Paramananda something was there on Param Brahma. Prema. You got it. Soul is needing prema. Actually, if you read the scriptures of the Vedic scriptures, there is only two things. That two things, by Krishna's mercy, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, if one understands and if one gets these two things fulfilled in life, his life is blissful. Whoever you are, whether you are an animal, insect, bird, reptile, human being, whether in America or in India or in any other place, everybody is searching for these two things. What are those two things? Love and happiness. Who's that? Who said? Love and happiness, okay. What is it? What is it that those two things, if I get it, everybody is searching for that. Every one of us. And mind you, it's not just human beings. Even ants and even reptiles, everybody is searching for that. क्या है माता जी, दो चीज़ ऐसा जो हम ढूंढ रहे हैं, वो मिल गया तो बस, that's it. कुड़वानी, बताओ कुछ, ज्ञान दो, ज्ञानवाणी आना चाहिए. What is it? बोला लव एंड हैप्पीनेस. होता तो मैं अभी क्यों फिर से देखता तुम्हारी तरफ. पीस, सोचो. हाँ, इटर्नली हैप्पी, eternality. Eternality, you go to some place in an ICU and all, the people who are in this thing, they want to mar do. I don't want to go through this pain, right? So many people who commit suicide. How is it that, I was seeing the statistics, I was sharing it with the MIT, this thing. In an hour, about 84.5 people die. 84.5. So if eternality is what we are looking for, then why we want to commit suicide? What is it? What are those two things? Everybody. Change your body and go in that species, you will look for the same thing. Food. Huh? Aham? Aham mamiti kya hai wo? What is it? What does it mean? Mine. Me and mine. Two things, if we get it, we will be fulfilled. Something, Bala, you have found? No? Two things that we are looking for, each one of us, is to love and to be loved. To love and be loved. Every one of us. To love and be loved. And it is not like we have not done this in our life. We have loved people in lives. हम अपने हृदय को निकाल के किसी को दिया है, उसके बाद क्या हुआ है? उसका टुकड़े टुकड़े होके वापस आ जाते हैं. अरे यार, and you develop so much of bitterness after that. That is why everybody in the heart feels void, incompleteness. Everyone. Somebody tries to fulfill that void or emptiness by buying a bigger house. बड़ा घर लेते हैं, बड़ा महल में रहेंगे. छोटा गाड़ी, बड़ा गाड़ी लेते. पार्टनर अच्छा नहीं है, चेंज करो, रिप्लेस करते हैं. All kinds of things, because we want to love someone wholeheartedly and we want to get loved. Is there anybody in this world who can do that? Who really can satisfy that? Who said Krishna? Achha. Anybody disagrees with him? Maybe because it's some of you who are on the border. ठीक है, अभी यहाँ पे मंदिर में है तो कृष्णा, बाहर कहीं और जाएंगे यहाँ दुर्गा हो रहा तो दुर्गा, कहीं और होगा तो साईं बाबा, और कहीं होगा तो कुछ और. Why Krishna? Why is it Krishna? Part and parcel of Krishna. So what will happen part and parcel? Why Krishna? Huh? Because he's Sachidananda. Because of two characteristics of his love. He's the one who can satisfy that condition. What is it that Krishna has? Krishna's this thing. Huh? What is that? Okay, one is right, unlimited. Krishna's love is unlimited. But before that, Krishna's love is unconditional. No condition. In material world, the closest that you can come to unconditional love is mother's love. Mother's love is closest. Carrying the baby for 9 months in the womb. Then, remaining awake in the night. Even though the child is making so much of this thing, mother sacrifices a lot. Even sometimes, the poo, the changing the diaper, the father may have some hesitation. Mother doesn't see anything. But that love doesn't last for a long time. The selfish interest comes when the child grows up, or it gets terminated by the force of time. Krishna's love for each one of us is unconditional. What is the meaning of the word unconditional? Without any? Without expecting? Even if you do hundreds of mistakes, Krishna's love for us never gets deteriorated. Imagine in your family, Ananya, घर में राजारियन आता है, he ignores you, doesn't talk to you. You want to, अरे भैया आया घर में इतने दिन बाद, you want to talk to him, you want to have some nice this thing, he's just hi. And then he starts scolding you, starts offending you, insulting you. How will you feel? You don't want to have the relationship with him if it becomes too bitter. It happens. Look at us. We ignore the Lord, we offend him, we don't even acknowledge his presence. He is making so many wonderful arrangements for us, yet there is no bitterness in him. Where there is a reason for breaking the ties, every single reason is present in the Lord, still he is loving us. You don't want to look at him, you don't want to, worship him, you have some of your independent this thing. Still the Lord doesn't say that, okay, let's cut his necessities. मारो ये क्या है, ऐसा थोड़ी है, देख ही नहीं रहा है मेरे को. Unconditional love first. And the second is unlimited, unending. Actually, these are the only two things which we are looking for. That is why, like all of you are sitting here, some sleeping, some awake, some half awake, half asleep, whatever, sages, saints, coming and hearing Bhagavatam. 88,000 sages, 5,000 years back, asked this question to Sutta Goswami. What is it that you can tell us in the essence, which actually everybody is looking, and if they get that, they'll be satisfied. And in answer to that, Sutta Goswami says, Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir radhokshaje ahetuki apratihata yenatma suprasidati. Ahetuki apratihata, causeless and uninterrupted. We are all looking for that. But not knowing that, we are hankering after so many other things. So many things we go after. But the next question is that is what we are looking for. How do we get that? Where is it that, how do I revive that? How do I get that? How do I develop this Krishna Prema inside me? जो भी आंसर दे रहे हैं उसको उसका आंसर पे ही कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है. बोला ये नहीं बोला, वो नहीं इधर देख रहा है, मतलब श्रवणम नहीं है, चैंटिंग. Prabhupada says, नित्य सिद्ध कृष्ण प्रेम साध्य कबुनाए श्रवणादि शुद्ध चित्ते करयुदय. This Krishna prem is there in our heart. It is there. It's not like you have to get it from somewhere. It's there in the fully blossomed state. But right now, because of our conditioning, is covered. Shravanadi Suddha Chitte. Shravanadi Suddha Chitte Karayuda. It becomes manifest. Once you get that, like Krishna says, like the Vedic scriptures are saying, Yatha Tarora Mula Nisechanena. Like you, water the root of the trees, all the limbs, tripyanti yat bhujopasaka, tripyanti. Every parts of the trees gets nourished and satisfied. Like you put the food in your mouth, in your belly, when it goes to the stomach, all parts of your body is getting nourished. Like you turn off a master switch, all the lights will get turned off. Krishna is that switch. If we turn it on, every relationship will be fine. Everything will be done. Right now that switch is turned off. So we are trying in different ways, this way, that way, this thing, that thing, and struggling. Human life is meant to develop that, meant for this. You can't have, okay, today there are less people, let's go and get some cats and dogs. Let them also come and let them also hear about Krishna Prem. You can't make them explain about Krishna Prem. They will not understand. Only human life we can do this. That is why in the scriptures they say about Ahara Nidra. Huh? Who is saying Ahara Nidra Bhayamaitunam cha? Samanyam etat pasubhi narana. Dharma hi etat tesamadhiko vishesha dharmena hina pasubhi saman. That dharma is actually referring to Krishna prema, bhakti or prema. That can only develop in this human form of life. I was giving this example. Imagine somebody walks in, like there was an incident, and one person walked in with his dog. Remember, you had to call me. He wanted to bring his dog inside for this thing, and we said no, dogs are not allowed. So imagine you go to Subhu Prabhu's house and you have a dog, right? And you want to go there. Anyway, in this country, everybody is fond of dogs. You know why? Not dogs, I'm saying pets. Why? Because they have had better relationship with human beings. So they have now gone into this thing that at least pets will not cheat us. You know, there is a latest thing which is there. It is called objectophile. Forget about being affectionate to your pets. People are these days. There is one person who is married to Eiffel Tower. Her name is Mrs. Eiffel. खड़ा रहेगा एटलीस्ट कुछ भी डॉग कैट भी पता नहीं चले जाते हैं in a family that dogs like somebody do not like somebody, God knows what. Eiffel Tower, Mrs. Eiffel. There is somebody who's married to Berlin Wall. Her name is Mrs. Berlin. I'm not making it up. You can search in Google. Because nowadays people are so disgusted. Everybody is looking for this, but in this world they are not getting. And it is only there with Krishna. So imagine you walk into, Raj Aryan walks into Sukirti Prabhu's house with a dog. Okay. As a host, he has to welcome you. Please come, Raj Aryan. My dog, you also come, please. The dog and Raj Aryan comes inside. And Sukirti Prabhu, he sees that the dog is very restless. He's doing like this is going all over the place. So he thought what to do with this dog. He took him to the bathroom and gave him some food to eat. Will the dog protest? Bathroom mein khana de raha hai mere ko. Ye auqat hai mera. But imagine if he does the same thing with you. Aajo Raj, come. Bathroom, toilet mein dal ke kha le do. Will you ever go to his house? This is exactly the point. Human life is meant to develop that consciousness. Dog will not protest. We will, because we need to. If he treats you like that, because he needs to have that consciousness developed. Currently, in the name of advancement, we are talking about progressing, and we want to progress horizontally. I want more. I want this love, I want this, I want that. And the more you do, the more there is competition. The more there is fighting, the more there is envy, the more there is burning inside. How will you experience Krishna Prem? Human life is meant to grow vertically. And there is no competition there. The sky is the limit. It's meant to develop your consciousness. Imagine if she is angry at me. Okay. And she is angry at me and she has to, she's smiling and she has to be angry and she has to express her anger. Possible? No. No, the ऐसे आता है, right? Anger आएगा कैसे? How will you show your anger? If our heart is filled with anger, lust, envy, pride, what Krishna Prema we will experience? Once, this esoteric pastimes of Krishna, which is mentioned here about, what is my Swarupa. Actually, the word that is used here in the purport, be careful, is very nicely, Bhagavatam is so wonderful. So he's saying that attainment of the stage of pure spiritual life is the highest perfection, and this stage is called Swarupa, or the factual identity of the living being. We have to come to our Swarupa. That's, unless you come to your constitutional position, you can never experience this. Once Prabhupada was asked about this, what is my position in spiritual world? Prabhupada said, now you chant Hare Krishna. We'll figure it out. Now it is not important to find out whether you are a gopa or a gopi or a cow or a grass or tree, what you will do, because you don't know even your Swarupa. You have not even come, you have not cleared all the material dust in your consciousness. What you will understand about that? I want to conclude with one very important story. It's very, very nice. I don't think anybody will be here who would have not heard. If you have not heard, just raise your hand afterwards, just to know that, just for my knowledge, that there are people who do not know even this story. So Prabhupada says this story in one occasion, and very important story. The context behind this story is, I said that all the soul is looking for is what? To love and to be loved. Soul is looking for love, right? And that is by to love and to love and be loved, and that can be satisfied by only Krishna. So all of us sitting over here, how many of you have got? How many hearts do you have? All one, huh? Bala thought and said one. Really? Anybody more than one? Mataji, कितने हैं? एक ही है बस. तो ये दिल किसको देना है? भगवान को देना है. तो क्या होगा? तो रो रहे हैं ऑलरेडी, अखिलेश रे प्रभु. आपके बच्चे सुनेंगे तो ये गया ये. कैसे करना है? If that one heart is to give it to Krishna, what will happen to our family members? क्या होगा? No. Theoretically, right? But conviction आना चाहिए. Prabhupada says this story. Very nice. There used to be a river, and next to that river there was a tree. And this tree is Jamun tree. All of us, we are familiar with Jamun, right? There used to be a monkey who used to eat that Jamun every day. Nice, very juicy, tasty Jamuns. And this monkey had a friend in the river in the form of a crocodile. They became friends. They all, every day they used to have nice conversation. And this monkey used to throw some jamuns. But husband was very, very loyal. Before giving to wife, he'll not eat. So he used to go and give it to wife. Wife said, "Theek hai, acha hai beta." So then he said, "Where did you get this from?" Monkey, my friend, he lives in the tree, in jamun tree. He eats that every day. So this wife asked husband, Mrs. Crocodile, asked Mr. Crocodile, "Hey, you say you love me, right?" Mr. Crocodile said, yes, I can do anything for you. Chand tare tod ke leke aa sakta hu. Mrs. Crocodile said, "I don't want chand tara. I want the heart of that monkey. Can you get that heart of that monkey?" So Mr. Crocodile goes the next day and he says, "Well, Mr. Monkey, you've been invited by Mrs. Crocodile. There's an invitation back home. Please come." So he says, okay. He thought maybe some lunch or something Mrs. Crocodile is inviting. Monkey came and sat on the crocodile and they were going. In the middle of the journey somewhere, this monkey asked, "So why is it that Mrs. Crocodile is inviting?" So Mr. Crocodile told, actually he was very simple guy. He said, Mrs. Crocodile wants to have your heart. Oh, you should have told me beforehand. Actually, I kept my heart in the tree. Let's go back, I'll give you there. Crocodile turns back and goes, monkey goes back and says, Thinga, whatever. So the story is, when people ask, what should I do with my relationships, with my family members and relatives, if I have got one heart, I have given it to Krishna. If you have to interact with the materialistic people, nobody is saying no. Do it as a duty. There is a difference between love and duty. Love is for Krishna and duty is for all these other things. That is the sum and substance of this verse, which the Dwaraka queens or the Brajavasis, the damsels of Braja, they had understood. Sold out for Krishna. Not just like that, Sukadev Goswami would talk about something like this, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will relish. Ramya kachid upasana brajabadhu vargena ya kalpita. Right? Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesha Tanaya Ramya kachid upasana brajabadhu vargena ya kalpita. This is the highest form of worship. Highest form of worship is to develop love for Krishna like the damsels of Braja. Ramya kachid upasana brajabadhu vargena kalpita. That is what is attainable in this life for all of us. That is what, if you get it, you will be completely satisfied. But instead of that, we are busy in so many things. And we feel we are doing something very big. So much of achievements I have to do, I have to take care of it. Just give your heart to Krishna. So we'll continue to see, these are all wonderful things of Bhagavatam. One has to relish. And actually the intricacies of what the Vedic scriptures are saying, to pinpoint that, it's impossible. It's very difficult. It's only Acharya like Srila Prabhupada who reveals this, that we understand. And that is why spirituality is necessary, mandatory, if you want to become happy or blissful. Without that, it is not possible. We'll stop here. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.